Thank you. Caught me a little bit off guard there. So first off, thank you, Mr. Secretary, for, in your opening comments, you talked about how the State Department workforce is its best asset. And I couldn't agree more, and I think it's important for all of us to recognize the incredible work that that workforce does every day representing the United States. I'm going to turn my focus and my questions to global health. I'm a physician by training. Public health has been something I've done for a long time, and obviously we know that there is an outbreak of Ebola in the DRC right now, and we obviously have some concerns. My concerns are whether the administration is placing the right amount of priority on global health security and preparedness, and here's why I have that concern. If we think about the 2014 Ebola outbreak and the response to it and the lessons learned from that outbreak, there were a few things. Part of the delayed response was the lack of funding that was available to quickly respond. And as a physician and global health expert, it is incredibly important to get ahead of these outbreaks very quickly to contain them. So I'm grateful for the $8 million that's been allocated to help address this response, but also concerned about, we spent about $5 billion, or we appropriated $5 billion in that 2014 response. About $1 billion was left over that we allocated to USAID and CDC to work in 49 countries to help build better infrastructure there, better disease surveillance, et cetera. In the current budget allocation or ask, the administration is talking about pulling funding from 39 of those 49 countries. I think that would be a mistake. I also know in the current rescissions proposal, the administration seeks to pull back $252 million in residual Ebola funding. That also would be a mistake, particularly given the outbreak that we see right now. And here's why. What we know is we built in some flexibility for response, not just to Ebola, but to other outbreaks. And when we had the Zika outbreak a year and a half ago, we were able to quickly respond, take some of that funding and respond to that Zika outbreak and get ahead of it. I'd urge, as you go back, and again, that rescission decision may have been made before the current Ebola outbreak. I'd say, let's take that out, and I'd make that same message to the appropriators. A third lesson that we learned from that Ebola outbreak was the importance of having a command and control structure that could take charge, could work across agencies, and you had someone who clearly was in charge. I'm very worried right now. With kind of the dismantling of the biosecurity wing of the NSC, the loss of Admiral Tim Zimmer, who clearly was an expert here, and the loss of some of our expertise with regards to addressing these global health and security challenges. I guess my question would be, with this reorganization in the midst of a potential Ebola emergency, would you agree that this is not the right time to be doing this reorganization? This would not be the right time to be pulling that $252 million, and what that org chart would look like in terms of biosecurity preparedness?
Thank you for your question. A very important topic. Frankly, gets too little attention, I think, from time to time. Three thoughts. First, with respect to the Ebola outbreak, I believe we have the resources in the short run to do the things we need to do and to respond. Frankly, it's probably never fast enough, but to respond in a way that is important and material and gets ahead of this in a way that we weren't able to do before. I think we'll execute on that. Second, with respect to the rescission package, I'll certainly review it. I've had conversations even in just these 3 weeks about that rescission package. There's another as well. I've expressed my views internally inside the administration on each of those. And finally, with respect to the broader structural issues, I know what existed before. I am not familiar with where those structural decisions are today. I will have my team come up and help me to make sure that we have command and control right, not only for this immediate issue, but as we move forward thinking about these important global health issues as well, sir.
Well, great. Mr. Secretary, I'd invite you to work with us in Congress, those of us that are interested in global health security, to make sure we have that right command control structure and the right personnel in place.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.